Okay, everybody, I think we are now live with the Master Chess Web Show, and today we have a very special guest, Adrian Mikhalchishin, who is. Are you in Lviv at the moment?
Yes, yes, I am in
Right,
Lviv.
you're in Lviv, so it's still quite away from the Russian
Yes, yes,
invasion.
it's around 500 kilometers from this events, from the
Yeah,
fights. It is okay. The city is rather okay, peaceful. There were just few attacks around on some military bases, but we have every day we have alarms. Okay, at night. One night we had to spend 6 hours in the cellar. Today we spent 3 hours. So, it is in the middle of the night, you are interrupted and you must run down. So
yeah,
it is very, very unpleasant. I never imagined that I could live in such times when some crazy guys are coming to my country and wanting to destroy everything, and it's really
yeah,
destroying. So because look, country decided and knows, because we know a lot, that women and children must be moved to the western to Europe
Yeah.
to be safe, and most of the men are in the army. Who can join army, they joined territorial defense, like our Grandmaster Sulipa, national trainer, Grandmaster Timoshenko. There were some famous boxers like world champion Usyk, Klitschko brothers. As there are famous tennis players, Stakhovsky, Medvedev, and then, a lot. All the team of Dynamo Kiev football team joined. So it is like national war, because we know that if they will come, they will kill all of us.
I know.
No other way. We know it. It
Yeah.
will be genocide, incredible. So we know it, and okay, it's life, and we are not ready for it. Of course, we can't
Yeah.
say it. We
It
are
was
ready
so
for it, but
the
but
whole
we
thing.
but we expect it.
Yeah, the whole thing happened so suddenly. Like just a few weeks ago, everything was like normal. The
Yeah,
I was under missile attack from Saddam Hussein,
yeah,
and the closest I was to being hit was I was coaching Ronan Hartsvi, right, and I was friends with his family and whatever, and they thought I would be scared. I was safe in Herzliya, and they were under fire in Ramat Gan, and
yeah.
I went to visit them. They thought I needed the company, and I thought they needed the company. So I went to one of the main target zones, and it was pretty scary,
Yeah, of
and
course.
and it's stressful. You start to like hear alarms in your sleep, and you wake up, and it's very extremely unpleasant. Well, I was saying to Andrew before as well that I have my two of my great grandparents emigrated to the UK from near Lviv, and probably there was
Really?
like yeah yeah.
Which city?
I narrowed it down. I think it was in the Lviv district. I can just check. I made a note of it actually. So there were three places that I thought would be kind of likely. And where is this? Uh, right, there's south on the southwest of Lviv, and there were three because they were Jewish. My great
Yes, there
grandpa.
were many Jewish places,
Yeah,
many, because there are some from some cities, some not smaller cities and quite big. Is there were around from 50 to 80% of Jewish inhabitants. Like, for example, Brody, where is coming Daniel Yanovsky and some other Yaffe, some other American famous players. They came
yeah,
from city of Brody, some others from city of Stri, Drohobych, where famous
yes.
painter Schultz.
Three Drohobych and Dobromil. I think.
Drohobych, yes, Drohobych.
Yeah,
It's very,
I,
very big city. It's a quite big city. It's around,
yeah,
okay, 300,000 inhabitants nowadays. It was very big industrial center.
Yeah.
oil business near to it. They started first to, let's say, to develop oil industry in, I think, 1840 somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were many Jewish industrials who worked there, so
Yeah.
so it was very famous place.
Yeah. So because I saw one certificate, they had down Russia, Poland, and then there was another certificate with Lvov. And so I looked up large towns around there which had large Jewish communities. And also I have Sephardi blood. I'm like, 25% of the Jewish blood is Sephardi. So there were certain towns where the Sephardi Jews settled. So those were the three that I think were likely to be where they lived before they came to the UK. But we should do let's do one of Adrian's games. I found out this morning as well that you have a chess playing uncle
Yes, yes, it was.
because I got the wrong games. But
Yeah, yeah. You can imagine when I was started to play chess, I became first category player, and we started to buy chess informant. And in some chess informant, I found my name. What is this?
yeah,
Like we had no contacts because they part of family branch immigrated to in Austria Empire. They immigrated somewhere around 1910. They immigrated
okay,
to Bosnia because
okay,
it was most of the Ukrainians families were peasants, and they had a lot of kids, and in some moment it was not enough land, and
right,
some kids has to go to some other countries. And for example, from my grandma families, three, one brother and two sisters, they went to Canada, and now it's big family in Canada.
okay. But there was chess in the family. So your dad and your uncle played chess together.
Yeah, yeah. Especially my granddad played chess. He was very big fan of chess. There are many photos of him playing chess, and it is. And I got his chess board, and my mother told teach me chess according as her father taught her chess. So so it was really something special. I have still these pieces because it was a fire. There were fights, Ukrainian Polish fights in this region, in
Yeah,
eastern Poland, and our house was burned, and just few photos left, and chess.
yeah. Well, you've certainly been in the thick of it.
Yeah, yeah, wrong place.
Yeah, we feel pretty sheltered here in the UK. It's,
At the
uh,
moment,
yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Yeah, it's very important to understand that that background behind Nigel is not a Zoom background. It's a real place. He's living in
It's just technology. It's just
yeah,
technology. I could have
penthouse.
maybe next time I'll be in a prison cell, right? So I can do that as well. But yeah, I mean, some of your results as a player. I know that you've been most famous as a trainer, but
yes,
you were
yes.
you were fourth in the Soviet Championship in
Yes,
Lviv
of course,
in
yes. Okay, I
1984.
had good chances to win the championship, but I lost at the end. I was in the leading group, and at the end, I lost 2 games with White. Very, especially great position against Andrei Sokolov, who became champion. Andrei Sokolov in that years was extremely strong. He went to the final of candidates matches against Karpov, and he won even first game. So everybody believes that he is next world champion. But
Yeah,
suddenly he lost his ear like a like a tire, and he went
yeah,
down terribly fast.
yeah. Yeah, well, if Andrew brought up one of your real games, not one of your uncle's games. Now we can just go through that actually before, because I know you wanted to show us some end games because
Few instructive things to understand that we have to study, and all grandmasters have to study it.
yeah, yeah, it's I know I've been lazy with end games. I have to admit, and I realised when you
Look, from the early age, children are thinking that end games are boring, and it is some problem of trainers who don't explain the beauty of end game.
yeah, with my son. As a player, I sort of you know, tried to avoid endgames. But my son loves endgames because we just did endgames all the time and we practiced them together, and then he was winning lost endgames, equal endgames. So so he liked it more and more. So
You
now
can write
he's
the book, The Power of Endgame.
yeah, maybe.
Right, are we ready to see this game then?
Yeah, let's see this game. Andrew, over to you.
Okay, this game, you can interrupt at any moment. Uh, this game was played
It's
in
a
the
game
European team,
against Chedlishvili.
European Team Championship in
Yes, in
1999.
Batumi. Yeah.
Who were you representing then? Was it
I,
Slovenia?
I was playing for Slovenia national team. We played together because we had some misunderstanding after Olympiad 1992 when Ukraine played first times, and our Ministry of Sport and the Federation did not support us. So the local government supported us with the tickets, with passports, and we went there. And after it was some conflict continuing with the federation, national federation in Kiev, because before we always practically contacted just Moscow Federation, and it was everything okay. But with Kiev always there were some problems because, you know, main city, they were capital of Ukrainian chess, but suddenly appeared Lviv Chess School with 5 powerful grandmasters, Belavsky, Romanishin, Dorfman, me, and Marta Litinska. We became the Ukrainian national team, and they were, for some reason, I can say, jealous. Yes,
Yeah.
and we had not good contacts with them generally. And in some moment, Belavsky first decided, and then I followed him to move to Federation of Slovenia. Then Anna Muzichuk either played for Slovenia for the same reasons. Some misunderstanding with Kiev guys.
If I look at your heading on you, it doesn't say Adrian Mikhalchishin. It says European Chess Academies, Maribor. Of course, I have some very fond memories of Maribor, having been a coach at one of the I think European or World Championships there, 2012.
Yes,
I think it was.
I coached Maya Chiburdanidze and Anatoly Karpov. I was in his team, one of the top main coaches. And okay, recently I trained among big stars. I trained Richard Rapport
Really?
for some long period. Okay, he became a fantastic player, and I think he has potential for world championship.
Well, let's see Adrian in action here, and he comes up with knight f3.
Yeah.
A flexible move.
Yes,
And,
flexible move to see what opponent wants.
Well, he wants the Queen's Gambit decline. Now, this will get Nigel frothing at the mouth.
Look, now Queen's Gambit became once more fashionable. A lot of top players are using Queen's Gambit. This orthodox. We call it in Soviet Union orthodox.
Well, we've been talking about this move, knight bd7, a lot on this program, which is, of course, anti-bishop f4 formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just play bishop g5. Just pointing out to the viewers that if white plays bishop f4 here, I think it's pawn takes pawn, isn't it?
You can play pawn takes pawn,
yeah. And this is not so easy for white suddenly.
Yeah.
Because black's got knight d5.
Yeah, then take on f4. But these positions, you know, e3, knight d5, bishop c4, knight f4, e4. It is famous Rubinstein structure, which seems to be nothing special for white, even problems. But in reality, because of total control over e5, this structure nowadays is considered to be quite good for white.
Yeah, I tried this once in a secret correspondence game, and it wasn't easy for black. But instead of knight d5, a6 or even b5.
Yes, a6 is the best. A6, and then transposing into some positions of Queen's Gambit accepted. With bishop on f4, which is a bit stupid.
Yeah. So it would go something like this, would it? Where do you put your bishop? D3?
Yeah, bishop d3 and c5.
And then c5. And as you say, the bishop on f4 is
misplaced.
Very slightly misplaced.
Yeah.
So okay, so this is an interesting line, knight bd7. It might seem like a natural move, a normal move.
Yeah, but this line forced black just to be concentrated or on Capablanca's variation, classical, or on or to play this Cambridge Springs.
Cambridge
which is
Spring.
a bit risky nowadays. Yes.
Exactly.
So
Well,
here we analyzed a lot with my friend Alexander Belavsky, a lot of variations. We tried it to play with black. And here, okay, main move is knight d2 or c takes d5. There are two main lines. But I decided that opponent prepared something, and I decided to play something different.
well, you went knight d2, so it's not so different. Not so different yet. Black played bishop b4, and of course now in this position there is the crazy move knight e4, which I think Lubojevic played quite a lot. I don't think it's particularly good, but it's very tricky, isn't it? And I think White's supposed to take that knight and play bishop h4, if I'm not mistaken.
Bishop h4, yes.
And then the game continues.
Bishop b4, queen c2, c5, e5. There are many lines.
Yeah.
Playable.
And, that isn't played as much as the move that was played in this game, this is the main line, bishop b4, and now Adrian just played queen to c2, standard stuff.
Yeah.
Now this forces you to surrender the two bishops if he takes on c4, doesn't it? How would it go now? Bishop takes knight?
Yes, bishop takes knight, knight c4. It's a classical Alechin Capablanca lines, knight c4, queen c7, and here I think, okay,
b2 or g3
played, and then there are many moves, bishop e2 or g3 even. So it is very classical line.
You think this is edge to white, slight edge to white?
Yeah, okay, maybe a3 easily is possible. Yes, a3, bishop e7, and because bishop c3 is nothing logical, so a3, bishop e7, and some guys play g3.
Yeah,
and bishop plays on g2.
Mm.
A slight space advantage, but bishop pair, is compensation.
Well, black castled, and you took the knight straight away. He takes back.
Yes, it was a knight, yes, and continued.
And now just bishop d3. So relying on development and slightly more control of the position. Black's issue is always the queenside pieces. Where's that bishop on c8 going to go?
Yeah, main problem of black is bishop.
It's not so easy just to put it on b7 or even a6 in this position. So where's it going to go?
Maybe some b6, bishop a6, but it is okay. It is different story.
Yeah, different story. So Chedlishvili took on c4. Well, now we've got this sort of Capablanca, Alekhine type structure.
Yeah.
And I guess it must be a little bit better for white unless through c5 or e5.
Yeah.
So you played e4. Excellent move.
Yeah.
Now you didn't like that.
Yeah, okay. b5 is b5. It's always some flank activity here in this situation.
It looks a bit irregular to play b5.
Yeah, but still he can play, okay. If he plays, okay, h6, then I like this position with e5, knight d5, knight d6,
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
And then maybe bishop e4 or something different. Okay, it's special position. Yeah, I like knight on d6.
Very nice. What do you think, Nigel?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just very nice for white?
yeah. Because it's not easy to see how black can even try to exchange that knight, and not without some c4, c5 coming as well.
I mean, it just occurs to me that b5 makes things worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make things better for black.
Because he drives the knight from c4 before it's ready to go to d6.
I guess so. But it is weakening the queen side really badly. So on we go. Now he plays e5.
Yeah.
Very good move.
Yeah, now it's necessary to control c5, control d6. I was quite satisfied with this position.
I mean, where is his counterplay coming from? f6?
Yeah, f6, but it is f6 is a bit French structure, but with big hole on c5.
Yeah, but I think he does that, doesn't he? He does do
Yeah.
it. Well, he probably couldn't see any other way to get counterplay.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
or if the white castles and plays knight c5 and then if rook e1 f4, it will be totally
beautiful. Okay, so he goes f6, but of course this does really weaken his position somewhat. And now black has two weak pawns.
A lot of weaknesses. I dream about rook e1, rook e5.
Can he play e5 himself?
Okay, Maybe
you
bishop this,
did it.
yes, c5, because bishop d7 is slow. e5 is, I think, rook e1, something like that.
Which rook? Rook F.
Better A.
A1. Yeah.
You know, it was old recommendation of Soviet trainer. Put the far rook to the game, which is very far. So rook A e1, not rook F e1.
Yeah, it's always a problem for amateurs where to place the rooks, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, this is quite an interesting challenge. Where the best place for white rooks is? Is it E1 and F1, like you say? Because white's got A4 in the wings, hasn't he?
Yeah, correct. But here probably the game will be concentrated on E file, rook E1, and okay, rook F e1 is nothing wrong, but rook A e1 I would prefer.
I guess he would take this pawn.
Take, yes, rook e8.
No, rook E. Oh my God, it's horrible. He's got to go there.
Rook e8. No, rook f8, bishop h7.
Thank you for the game. And good night.
Just to play king f7
King
instead
F7.
of rook f8. No, instead of rook f8.
Rook F8. Yeah, but this is not very pleasant, is it?
Yes, king f7, and then rook f e1.
That's not very friendly.
Yeah. Queen b3 is some threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you can see, I think the viewers can see the magnitude of Black's problems here. I mean, Mikhalchishin is a very strong player, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, he's trying to get rid of this pressure, and his c5 is quite logical solution here.
So you went Queen E2, nice move.
Yeah.
And now, again, Black's nursing several weaknesses.
Oh, first of all, I go out of this pin on c file. If bishop b5, cd4, you know.
Yes.
So I try to avoid this pin, and then create some threat, and create queen e4 and another threat, bishop b5. So let us see.
Black seems to have he just allows it.
Yeah, what he can do.
Well, I don't know. You didn't play Queen E4, so let's have a look at it.
Okay, his plan is bishop b7, queen h7, king f7, and I am a bit stuck with my queen on h7.
Yeah.
I don't think that it is something let's say rosy here.
Could even be out of play.
Yeah. So no real. Okay, better to play position.
So you went A4. Nice move. His pawn structure can't be repaired.
Yes, such pawn structure is always under such attacks as a4. You know. Well, first of all, pawn a4 is a bit backward pawn. I can't say this much backward pawn, but it is, you know, a bit isolated. So if we can use it as a weapon to destroy opponent structure, is really some technical achievement, I would say.
Yeah, and you didn't need to move your rook on a1 to get it into the game. What about that? A bonus. So, Black now, obviously this guy hasn't read your book on pawn structures.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't got one. Rook takes a4. Pawn takes pawn. Rook c4. Okay, give it an exclamation mark.
It is a good move to create some problem for the opponent, because if queen a5 then queen e4, then it can be dangerous. Queen d8, rook d4 is very important to win some time as much as possible.
Yeah, you activate your rook, don't you? Brilliant move.
Yeah, it's a strong move, quite strong.
Very strong move. And now here you go. He has to go there. In. There's a saying in English, in like Flynn. We won't use it here. The king comes to f7 now. Where's the follow-up? Takes d4. Rook g8.
It was threat rook g4. Yeah.
Yes.
Now I'm ready for something like bishop a6 threat is and rook b7. You know?
So rook g4 straight away is not.
No. Instead, when before rook g8, yes, it was some idea rook g4 and bishop g6 check. So some ideas like this.
So double up, just bringing everything into play. He makes.
He protects, yes, but this is all in vain, because bishop a6 follows anyhow.
Bishop a6, yeah, nice.
Okay, simple. okay, we can say cheap tactics.
Not really. You've outplayed him, I mean, haven't you? That's the situation. He
No, but it was threat before this move. So anyhow, it was in the air.
Here he goes. E5, counter tactic, attacking your rook and your
Now
bishop.
now is easy job. Bishop.
Check. Oh dear me. He should have stayed at home.
It's very nice, very logical game.
Yeah.
Very,
Very
very
logical.
clean.
Let's say what I like, in chess, in my chess career, I always like to improve my pieces and my pawn structures. I always liked logical improvement.
Yeah.
You never let him into the game.
In the position.
You didn't let him into the game. It was control all the way through.
Yeah. So it is. I was quite satisfied with this game because everything was very, very clear and clean. Yes, you say clean game.
Easy to understand for the viewer, but not so easy to carry out if you happen to be playing white.
But look, it was only we can say some. It's a such expression key move, but I like more German expressions. Schlüssel move. This move rook c4.
That's the key move, isn't it?
Key move, yes.
Yeah,
Key move rook c4 was.
Yeah.
Because after rook c4, I destroyed his coordination of his pieces and prepared attack on d-file, and this attack decided on d-file.
Well, very nice game. So, Nigel, over to you. What happens next?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did send Adrian over some questions before, and one of them was if he had to train us. Say, I think you're almost ready for the over 65 championship, aren't you?
Yes.
To get the GM title, Andrew.
I played. I think just once, team championship in Croatia. It was fantastic on fantastic island Lošinj. A few years ago, I think 2020 we played before this COVID stuff. It was last championship. It was really great. It's the most important thing when you meet your old friends. It's first of all because chess has a lot of social elements itself, and when you meet all friends from different countries, you simply enjoy drinking some beer, talking, and and playing.
Just
playing a bit. Because with young players, it's not so interesting because they are, let's say, this new generation is just thinking about points. Okay, maybe we were the same in our young age. We're thinking just about points. I think probably nothing is changing, but of course, one thing is to work with the juniors when you teach them, and another thing when you play with some stronger players. It's not easy; they have more energy, And we discussed with Bilavsky, with my close friend, who either stays in Lviv now. All players stay in Lviv now, practically all. Just Mamedov, who is Azeri, he's married to our Ukrainian champion Natalia Buksa. Okay. And he went with his wife to Azerbaijan. Grandmaster Oleksienko with 3 kids. He has 3 small kids. He went to Poland. Yeah. All others stay here. Marger Pettersson he's married here, and he was the owner of the bank, one of the top position of the chess players. And he is now moving between Slovenia and Lviv and Iceland. He took his family to Slovenia, and now he is just moving by cars there, here and there. With young players, it's either, as we discussed with Bilavsky, is the problem to play because they are much stronger physically, and chess, we have to keep concentration for 3-4 hours.
So
older players lose concentration on the 3rd hour.
Analyzing with endgames is tiring.
And what is the point? These young guys, they are keeping pressure, and on the 3rd hour we are dying. I told you. What's the point?
This is what I found. I started playing a little bit, and I realised I was getting exhausted. I played in some tournament in Hull where I had to play like every promising young player in Britain, and it was 9 games in 5 days.
Oof. Double rounds, down round, at least for veterans. Be careful because double round is difficult. No, there is strategy for double round. You must play one shorter game, one draw, and one.
Yeah,
one
yeah, yeah. And well, it's what I tried. I was still exhausted, and so okay. Let's imagine you had the horrible job of training me and Andrew to play in the over 50 championship and over 65 championship. Right now, I think you kind of answered this question when you sent me an endgame file over.
I would say yes. Triple his fee, triple his normal fee. First of all, this is
Yeah, triple normal fee for danger money.
too much of a challenge.
Oh, look, what is the problem? We can't remember everything, and we are repeating during preparation or even before the tournament. We are just repeating openings.
Yeah.
But we must repeat end games either. It is the problem that we don't repeat. It is the problem. We just simply have to go through some not basic but interesting end games, and just to try to remember how because there are rules of end games are a bit different. You know, role of the king and of the pawns. It's fine. Teach. You must push the pawns and so on and so on. You know, it's role of the pawn is different because passed pawn is the key of the end game. Yeah, so we must repeat. We don't repeat end games, and it is always problem, and trainers are not let's say recommending to players to repeat before the tournament because we forget a lot.
Yeah,
I will show one position of Magnus Carlsen that he was okay. He was 27-0-0 player, and he have seen this end game, but he have forgotten it. And some other case will be even more funny.
Yeah.
Why don't we see some of your end games? That would be good.
Yeah, you can share the screen. You're in complete control here. Well, you should. If you're not, then tell me, and I will change the settings.
Not yet. Give me the.
Okay. Let me.
Give me the wheel.
You should. It should be. It should be advanced sharing options. Oh, gotcha. All right, it's switched off. So okay, you should be okay now.
Yeah, I'm okay now. Okay, I am okay. We have my file. Okay. First thing, what I want to show, for example, it is famous game. Okay, Fischl Gort. Yeah. So it was this position. Yeah. And this position is in very famous book, one of the best books which I had when I was junior. It was book of the let's say play like grandmaster, selected tests from the practice of great players Vlastimil Hort and Vlastimil Jansen.
Is it called? It was called the best move, wasn't it?
Yes. In different language, it had different name. You know.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely great book. I liked it very much because it was not just pure tactical tests. There were end games from their practice, mistake. Because we study a lot on mistakes. You know, we don't study just on the best example. Best example is one thing, but when we study on mistakes are painful for us, and we start to understand what was wrong and what was correct. Yeah. So on mistakes we study a lot in chess. And it was in this book, this position, it was very nice solution, very nice way how Grandmaster Hort, he was very young. He was I think 16. On first or second, he was a real one of the chess prodigies. We don't remember it. He became Czech champion, I think, at 15 in 1961. So it was his first championship, and he became champion. So bishop a5, bishop takes, king g4, bishop c7, f5, f4, this, h4, simply f4, king here, f3, king e3, and king h3. And after king f3, it's perfect stalemate. Nice solution. But it's very funny that Grandmaster Jansa, who was one of the author of these books, and I believe that he made this book because he is a real worker. And Vlastimil Hort, we know he is absolutely great player. He had fantastic positional talent. I have seen him many times, and we played some team matches. I didn't play against him. It was my friends played like Belavsky, Romanishin. I played on other boards, and but he was okay. Let's say honestly, he was a bit lazy. As many top GMs, we know it. So it's happened. So nothing wrong. And Janza made this book, yeah. So, and Janza plays veterans, you know, about memories, about let's say just memory, and he played against some former Russian, now German player, 2290, Yuri Lubarsky, and in this position after Bishop B8, he have forgotten this saving method. He have forgotten simply, and he resigned. Because draw was easy, but it was necessary to play king g4, correct move, king e4, f3, king e3, h4, and after king f2, the same. Because white cannot win a tempo with some bishop moves, as black simply return back, yeah?
Yeah.
And we'll laugh, and we'll return back to h3, next move. You see, making moves there, here, and there. So he resigned. Can you imagine? That
I can't imagine he was very happy.
Oh, I can imagine how he was feeling. How could I remember? How I forgot this? You know, it's incredible. But look, some top grandmasters, like okay, let us say one of the world great players. Let's say Ullmann, Grandmaster Ullmann, yeah.
Yeah.
He was world championship candidate, yes, and he was legendary German player. He's playing against Grandmaster Gulko here,
Yeah.
and he did not know the correct method of defense here. Method is very simple. He played rook b3, he got rook a6, threatening mate. He went back, h6, king g1, rook check, king h1, king h1, king f1, e2, king h1, e2, and no defense, king f2, and he resigned. But in the starting position, when we go back, simple draw was stalemate defense. How he can forget stalemate defense, I don't understand. See, great player, absolutely great player, and some only way, because there are, you know, in endgame usually we have two choices. In middle game we have generally we have much more choices in critical positions, not in every position, of course, but here in endgame we have, even in critical moment we have two choices, one correct, one wrong, and not to see this rook b2, rook f2 is something extremely strange for me, that such great players are making. But sometimes knowledge is wrong. Sometimes knowledge is wrong. For example, we know, just a second where it is. It is okay. It is famous. The famous win, for example, was okay. Rubinstein game before, and then Kasparov game. It is opponent game, and win is very simple. King h3, and black is winning like this. b3, pawn takes, and king comes to g3, and it's everything. It's famous method, von Rubinstein game. It's very well known method. And of course, younger grandmaster Hiller, the Tiger Hiller person, plays against Marcus Rager, g4, pawn takes, king here, f4, king g1, king g3. And he saw this, and he saw what follows this Rubinstein way, f3, and then king goes to the other side, and he immediately resigned. Yes, I know it. I know this game, but his knowledge was wrong, because he had drawing chance.
A4 resource.
He could play a4 here or later, even here. He can go a4 here, but king c1, king c3, and simply a4.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? King takes, pawn takes. If pawn takes b5, king b2, coming perfectly into basic draw position. You see, can you imagine this knowledge? This wrong knowledge. He did not, let's say, proceed this knowledge correctly. Like Magnus Carlsen, famous game of Magnus Carlsen against Aronian. He was 26.99 rating at this moment. And here last move was rook e1, and it is so-called perfect method of defense of such position, so-called sticking. You keep this pawn, this passed pawn on the tail, and you make draw with simply rook e2. If how to play? Just waiting, yes. And if king comes to d6, trying to play e6, simply king f7, and just waiting. Nothing complicated. Very simple method. Very simple method. But Magnus started to mix methods, and he decided that in this position he has to go to method rook on the long side, king on the short side. It is either draw method, but this draw method is much more complicated. It's necessary to remember that in some moments there are only moves, and basic thing is to control back rank. The same was famous game Menchik Capablanca, when both Capablanca and Menchik made terrible mistakes with this method, terrible mistakes. So, and it went like this: king e7, rook a5, e6, rook a7 here, and okay, fact, he controls back rank, yes. And Aronian plays picky move, rook d6, and here Magnus had to know if you would know it, that only method here is to play king g6. After king g6 is draw. Sorry. King g6. Magnus played rook a7 check. And after king e8, it appears the position is completely lost. Because if he plays here, then follows rook d8. If he plays rook a6 back, then simply follows d7. And if king d7 is a threat, king f6, king f8, rook a7, then simply rook d1.
Yeah.
What he can do, he can wait, then follow simply check, king f6, king f8, and after rook e7, he is losing his rook. Rook f1, king e6, and rook e1 check. You see, this method is complicated, and Magnus was not sure which method is correct. He was a very simple method. This sticking to this pawn, so-called, it's very easy, very easy and very effective. And he moved to some other method, which is okay, let's say much more complicated. It's okay. It's recommended in the books that it is very, 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 let's say, good defensive method. But to find in this position after rook d6, to find king g6 is not easy. To establish that it is the only move here, it was not so easy, and he went into this wrong stuff. Yeah. You know, okay, there are some other things. For example, when Grandmaster, I can't explain. For example, this famous recent game, yes, Giri Shankland. When it was played king c6, king f5, b6, and here Shankland resigned because he saw that he is losing his knight, and he resigned. But he forgot that just going simply back, and he does need to care about his knight. It is fight cannot win because king comes to e7, bishop f4 is stalemate.
Yeah.
Not important. With king on c8, king on a8, nobody cares. It's anyhow draw. And imagine that he has forgotten that there are some draw position. It's the same kind of mistake like Ullman, even maybe a bit worse. That he didn't know the simple stalemate defense, which is let's say, which must be, let's say, automatic stuff. Okay, grandmasters are resigning in different. Okay, grandmasters are resigning in different positions, but because there is international master Doroshkevich white, Taimanov black. This was very strong international master. He played many times in Soviet championships, and he played very strong. It is drawish position, very famous, and Taimanov plays c2. Best chance. Okay, and Doroshkevich saw that he plays bishop c2, king c3, bishop here, and king d3. He's losing bishop and resigned. But he had forgotten that after C2, that capture is not obligatory in chess. He
Yeah.
has forgotten that after king B2, king B3, he can just wait and laugh, doing nothing. See, such kind of mistake is absolutely incredible. Automatical thinking. Automatical thinking in many cases is wrong, or the same, like Magnus Czeszkowski. Game sucks Czeszkowski, two great players. In this position after check, Czeszkowski simply resigned. Despite his king on the short side, rook is not fully long side. It is not fully there yet, and he resigned in this position. But he could make draw easily. F7 and rook c8. If king d7, simply rook a8. Because if king e7, he plays king e7, then rook check. What to do? King e8 once more check. Nothing better than king d7, rook a8, and now waiting. Now it's perfect. What position, which position got Magnus? Yeah, which Magnus got. So it was incredibly okay. You see, but it's typical. It happens not just once.
Yeah.
Because people wrongly understand this method in the wrong way, and okay, grandmasters are resigning, for example, in many. They don't know some basic defensive methods here. So it was played here. It is Ibragimov and Sharizdanov, two strong Russian grandmasters, are playing, and the simplest draw is rook b6, e6 and king b5. Once more sticking from the other side. So if he plays rook e8, for example, he's simply waiting. Because rook b8, rook e6, rook b5, rook e5. So e7, and then he makes check. King comes here, then he another check. Only move is king h7, and now simply king f6. And after rook f8, both rooks are hanging.
Yeah.
Perfect draw. You see, simple methods, the same simple methods was, let's say, okay, it was forgotten simply or wrongly studied. It's very difficult. I don't know real reason what is happening in this grandmaster heads in some moment because they understood. I think it is some bet that we don't repeat sufficiently well this kinds of position, and there are some absolutely let's say absolutely wrong. The same. It's to game Doroshkevich Taiman. Belavsky plays against Igor Miladinovic. Belavsky is great, is black. Miladinovic is white, great player. Absolutely, 4 times Soviet champion, 4 times Olympic winner, and candidate for world championship, and so on and so on. And here's critical moment. How to take on f3? Which capture is correct? With rook or with the pawn? Belavsky took with the pawn, of course, and he went into this classical position, which we have seen. He did not try this. He did not try this Taimanov way f2. He agreed draw here because he had to. Okay, I think the Miladinovic would find this king g2 easily, yeah, without any troubles. But rook f3 is winning. Okay, it's not so still automatic. It has to be played like this: rook d3, king d5, trying to come from the other side. Rook d check, and now it's time for king h4. Some precise moves, protecting from checks from a third rank and from da, he is winning. Then there is no defense against king h3 or g3, anything is winning. You see, such great player, he made some wrong choice because there is some method in chess which we call elimination.
Yeah.
So elimination, what it means? That we have some choice, and we start to check variation, and we see that one way is absolutely wrong. So we automatically go to the other way. So and he had to know, of course, and he had forgotten. Once more, he have forgotten this position, that this position is draw. Yeah, this position is easy draw. He have simply forgotten, because if he would think in such terms, but nowadays, look, With 30 seconds per move, it is not really not so easy.
Yeah.
To operate properly with the whole method, you have time to think, to evaluate what is wrong immediately. That this capture GF3 is absolutely wrong.
So are you suggesting that in today's chess, study of typical methods in the endgame is absolutely
Yes, typical methods
crucial,
and some
crucial.
basic positions to repeat, because there are basic positions. What positions are draw and how to win. What means studying? Studying means that we repeat and let's say we repeat the correct ways. How to make draw in this position, how to make draw in some other position. So this is very important. Okay, I think it is useful. Okay, twice a year before some tournaments to look. Grandmaster, it will be enough even without chessboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are some other funny things which I want to show you. Funny things which are happening to. Okay, Olafson Torarius. Oh, it is great. Do you see the position? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So it's winning in different way, but Helge Olafsson, we know him well. He decided immediately to go into pawn and game.
Yeah.
It's rook d7, rook takes, pawn takes, king c8, and here he started because both moves, king d6 and b6, are stalemate. He became terribly angry, and they agreed draw. But he didn't know the correct winning method, which is very simple: king d5, king c7, b6, king d8, king d6, king here, and coming into position, yeah, and this, and winning. You see? No, it's
amazing.
psychology. You know, two things that I'm losing a pawn, it is immediately some, let's say, some damage.
Yeah.
I'm losing the pawn. What is this? I lost the pawn. Okay, draw. I missed the chance in the most stupid way possible. Can you imagine something like this? No, this method of king d5.
Yeah.
What a strange example.
So and with this opposition, there are fantastic cases. Okay, it's great game. Svidler against Eric Lobron.
Yeah.
Who is not playing for, I think, for 20 and more years, but he was a great player. He was my friend, but he went out of chess. So Svidler here played king d6. It's Olympiad 96 in Erevan. Yes, both played fast board. Yes, Lobron played fast board. I don't believe that Robert Hibner was there in Erevan. So. And after king g6, he resigned because he calculated line. Okay, just very fast. King b2, king c5, h1, take, king here, and king d5. He is losing. He's losing a pawn. But he has forgotten about Reti maneuver, which is possible here. Some like Reti. King g3. King takes if c4, king pawn here. He's ready to play f4, c5, f4, and after king e5, pawn is kept. Perfectly, yeah. But it's very funny position here. Here is very funny. King f3, king f5, king e3. Yes, c4 or threat king d3. c4, king d4, easy draw. But can you imagine that if pawn would be on c2, not on c3?
Yeah.
You see what would be the incredible difference?
Yeah.
With pawn on c2, king e5 wins.
Yeah.
You see, incredible position. Pawn c2 and c3. How is possible? So funny things are happening in chess, you know, with these pawns, yeah. So really, there are some and some instructive things. All these things are extremely instructive. All mistakes are instructive. We understand. We start immediately to understand what is correct way, and we see that it's not difficult.
Do you think it's because a lot of players will will skimp on endgame study. They, you know,
Yes, I think it's
they just
first
do it.
is so because everybody is repeating, especially young players in modern times. They are just studying openings, repeating openings. Maybe sometimes class, they are looking just games of the top players. They follow on internet. They don't even use books with the selected games of the great players. And for this reason, they have some clear problems with these classics, with these end games, and it is not so easy to convince them. Okay, just after they lose few games because of some stupid mistakes, as they see, because these mistakes are really, we can say they are not, they are stupid mistakes and
Yeah.
simple mistakes. There is nothing so complicated to say that it is something very special, very, let's say, you have to know it a lot. But what this, let's say, they neglect endgame study. But look, for example, there are very few players in their careers who started according to Capablanca recommendation, because Capablanca recommended to start chess with endgames, because in endgames we can study the correct cooperation of the pieces.
Yeah.
Correct coordination of the pieces is the most easy way, because there are not too many pieces. Yes, in middle game it's complicated. So many pieces, some technical dynamic elements and so on and so on. Here is different, and there are two players just in history who went through this process because their fathers were chess players,
Yeah.
and they, for some reason, believed Capablanca, and they on the first steps, they introduced them to many interesting endgames. They were Smyslov
Yeah.
and Vladimir Kramnik. And they were really fantastic technicians in their careers. So you see, yeah.
I understand that Carlsen was studying endgames quite early with Agderstein. And
Yes.
would you say that this could be one of the reasons that he's winning a lot of simple positions now?
Yes, look, but Carlsen started, and he understood that he had some problems with endgames, and they studied it a lot, because on the start he had problems. Nowadays he is fantastic technician. For example, look one of his games. Yes, just a second. What it is? It had to be Carlsen game. It is here or not? It is. Pity, it is not here. Yeah, it's not here. That he had huge problems on the start of his career, and then he improved it incredibly improved this his game technique, and he became practically one of the, let's say, maybe nowadays he is the best technician in the chess world, for sure. For example, it is Capablanca method, for example. Capablanca method of realization is that when we have extra exchange, we must sacrifice back and to win the pawn, and then to win the game. It is like, okay, Kosintseva, Luminishvili, very strong girls who were, let's say, playing in Olympiad, Dresden. It was one of the most important matches because I think Georgia became champions, I think, because of this game. Because of this game here, and because she winning is okay, is simple. Is king e4, rook g8, king takes, yes, and now obtaining diagonal opposition, then coming to the ordinary opposition, and then outflank, yeah, and simple outflank, winning pawn and making it easy. But she believes that she has time. She played rook d7, king g8, and she played king e4, and she was believing that I will sacrifice late, yes. But suddenly he bought d3. Now the rook d7, king d3, black king comes to e8, to e6, keeping draw easily. And after king d3, it is rook d3, it is another basic position, which is very important, basic position.
Yeah.
And okay, Kosintseva didn't know this draw basic position, because white cannot come with his king to g7, to f7, yeah.
Okay.
Everything is in vain. So you see but there are some many what in game is useful to study because it is a lot of not just of coordination of the pieces, a lot of logical decisions. Yeah.
Do you recommend any books or collections of endgame studies?
Look, there are some books. Okay, for not for beginners. Generally, there is this De La Villa great book, 100 basic endgame positions. There is this. I think some English player Jan Snipe made some book about basic endgame positions. And stronger players, of course, for stronger players, it is Dvoretsky University. Endgame University and Dvoretsky, there is another great book, Tragedies.
Is that any good? This book here?
Fundamental, yes. It is.
By Muller and Lamprecht.
Yes, but a bit too thick.
A bit too. It's quite hefty.
You know, young players immediately are becoming afraid.
I have one as well.
Yeah. I made with Belavsky 3 books, Winning in Game Technique, Winning in Game Strategy, Winning in Practice with Bedsford, but these books were for strong players. It was like this Dvoretsky and Game Tragedies about how to handle correctly some endgame position from Grandmaster practice and special and everything about different mistakes. Why mistakes are happening? What is correct? What is wrong in endgame? So it was they were good books, but they were published, I think, in the middle of 90s. They were reprinted in some other countries. So, but I'm quite proud of this book because, for example, Gelfand told me that he studied this book and he found no mistakes. But it was a joke a bit because Grandmaster Alexei Kuzmin, he found few mistakes in opponent games and he made very good articles. So I appreciate it very much because, you know, analyze without computers in that time was extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's much easier. But, you know, Taimano told me, we talked with him constantly on the phone till to his death. And he told me, you know, look, young generation now lost the joy of chess analysis. If they simply push a button, it's not a joy. The joy is to find something, to understand the position.
By the way, I just checked. You can still buy your books on the internet.
I think they are not. They are out of. Maybe one book is still on the stock, but.
I just checked. You can buy it online from various places.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so you see, there are always interesting stories about these great players, how they evaluate all this modern development, and I like what Taimano was thinking because in chess, the joy of old analyze when it was possible to analyze for a few hours to understand the position, it was a real joy.
Yeah.
When we were able to find something. Find the truth. It's a bit too let's say exaggerating. Find the truth to understand the position. Yeah.
We have a policy that we won't use engines on the show. Right. This is I think we're probably the only people that aren't using an engine. Also, I when I was teaching my son to play, we only used a chess set.
Yeah.
We didn't use.
Because first of all, picture is a bit different. When you look on the screen and when you look on the board is a bit different.
Yeah.
You know, when I have some method. When my pupils, in many cases, they're asking me, trainer, please, can we flip the board?
Yeah.
I tell them no, because you have to be able to find best solution from both sides of the board.
Yeah.
It's not important on which side you are sitting. You have to see what is the correct way in this position.
So you recommend studying with a chess set and board?
Yes, of course.
Well, not
sometimes when they analyze openings, when they analyze openings, of course they can analyze with the engines on the screen. It's not a problem. It's much more practical. But when they study some classical game, of course, everything has to be on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. That's it's. I mean, I've found this really interesting. I'm going to go back. My son has been a bit stressed from all the COVID nonsense or whatever, being locked down, and we haven't been studying chess recently. But I'm going to try and go back. He loves endgames. We I will try and get him to do more of this with a set, because that's how we always did it. I knew it was the right thing to do, but I just didn't do that much of it myself.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But nowadays, no, it's another tendency. Everybody is trying to do everything faster.
Yeah,
It's the time of fast food and of fast knowledge.
yeah,
And everybody, young players, they're trying. It's it's such time is now.
yeah,
So we cannot criticize them too harsh for it, because it is a tendency. It is everywhere.
yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. It's been really interesting, and we want to thank you so much for coming on our show.
Look,
You
it's
know,
the time of war. It's time of war. I'm training. I'm training not too much, because for me it's enough. I have some. I paid pupils, so I am training generally 1 hour per day, 1.5, and all
yeah,
other time is very difficult now to concentrate on work. Because
Yeah.
you are
yeah,
waiting alarms all the time. Yesterday it was at 12 at noon, 12 it was alarm, so there were few alarms in the daytime. But some people, they don't care. Some people, they stay in their flats and they don't care. We are going to the cellar sometimes, but uh, many people are just, they don't care. They say, okay, it's luck. It's like lightning. So what
mm.
can you do?
Yeah. But it's I know, when I after I had been under bombardment, I was very jittery. For I was like imagining alarms, and I would wake up in the middle of the night, and
Yeah, yeah.
even after it was all over, I was still, it was still on my mind. And it continued for quite a while. And I think it's with all such trauma. I mean, hopefully with something will happen. I'm not I'm not going to say what I wish for,
Yeah.
but hopefully something will happen, and this madness will stop.
But
You know.
I could never imagine that I will see so many refugees. They all are running to the west of the country, from Kiev, Kharkov, and there are now in my city in Lviv, there are 200,000 refugees.
Mm.
A lot of cars. They placed cars everywhere. Some of them, they abandoned cars. They jumped into the trains and go to Poland. The railway station is blocked because they put all these cars and they simply ran away in the first days. And the railway station is blocked with these cars from Kiev and from Kharkov. They are blocked. And there are, till to this moment, 3 million of women and kids went to Europe. 3 million
Yeah.
crossing the borders. It's incredible number. It was no look, and such destroyment of the cities that it was never happened during the World War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never. It's Europe doesn't understand this the size of the tragedy and how much is destroyed. It's never happened
Yeah.
like this.
Well,
They know this bombardment of Dresden, of let's say of Hamburg, but there are just a few cities. Here it can be more.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I think in general, a lot of people in the West, it hasn't really, there's some kind of cognitive dissonance. They don't really believe it's happening, and it's away from
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So
They
they
do,
compartmentalize
and they
it.
don't understand why.
Yeah.
Nobody understands why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I think we can hazard a guess as to why, because
Yeah.
it's
Not clear for us. Well, nobody expected. Okay, they are somehow quarreling, demanding something. Okay, it's normal in politics. Who cares? Yes,
but
it happens all the time. So
yeah, yeah. Some delusional thing, you know. But we in the West we should have stopped it earlier. You know, we
Yeah,
could have
yeah.
done much more. You know, and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah. They now they realize that it was necessary to stop because it they didn't see, they didn't expect, nobody expected, they didn't expect that it will be okay. They saw that it will be quarrel, it will be some problems, okay, but it is, there are minor problems.
you know, and then suddenly this, and it's well, the situation is very dangerous now. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah, okay, dangerous
it's
because
very,
every nowadays I must tell you that we evaluate that everything can happen, and the third world war started. How it will be continued if is as a not cold war and the icy war or something of hot war is not clear, but it will be clearly some war time.
yeah, and it's going to be affecting all of us a lot more. I mean, the West is going to be hit very hard economically for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, everybody can be hit very hard. So it was no reason. Everybody had very good life.
yeah, yeah, it's just
So
crazy.
nobody could understand why we did it.
Yeah, yeah. And so, well, there were warnings. There were warnings, and
Yes, there were warnings. It's
you
true.
know, but you know, nobody took them seriously. You know, including me, and you know, and now we have this situation. So it's well, I mean, you know, uh, yeah. Well, let's
We'll
see
have to
what
leave it at
happens.
that.
Let's hope. Let's hope for better times.
Yeah, hope for better times. I mean, I actually find chess kind of relaxing when when my brain is not, is all over the place. Would you
Yeah,
do?
yeah, me too. For me, some
Yeah,
training is, I'm relaxed
Therapeutic
when
is
I
the word.
not relaxed. I can't say relaxed. I'm
Therapeutic.
doing something.
Therapeutic.
No, here is necessary to do something.
yeah. You can at least focus your mind on something.
Yeah, focus
You
your
know,
mind doing
so
this.
so
They
yeah,
think about something different. Not think is that I maybe I will run to the shelter,
yeah.
sleep at
So
night. I have to sleep a bit and so on and so on. But still,
yeah,
at the moment, everything works. After 10 days shock, when practically a lot of things were closed, now everything is opened. Even constructors are working, and okay, supermarkets are okay. Food is enough.
yeah,
Oil, benzene went higher, but not so much. Some 50 cents or something, I mean, less maybe, even,
yeah,
even less, maybe 30 cents higher, but okay, it's still okay. In some gas stations they sell on some, just on some, let's say, um, on some coupons. On some gas stations, when they had this Belarusian gas, they don't sell it at all. So but it is so.
yeah. Well, okay. I mean, let's hope for better times, and we'll put the show on YouTube. I think it's been like by far our best show, and we really do appreciate that you came on our show.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. For me
Yeah,
it's always in these days it's some joy to talk to people which I know, which
yeah,
are, let's say, which are chess playing
Colleagues.
guys who like chess, who enjoy chess, and who are doing something with
Yeah.
chess.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, we will see you on Facebook anyway, and I will be in contact to see if you want a page on our website, because this is one I'm going to offer to guests, that they can have like a guest profile. People that were on the show, then I can put up a contact form and stuff. So
Okay, thanks,
yeah.
thanks. It was
Okay.
a really pleasure for me.
Okay. Yeah. And thank you too.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
guys.
Adrian. Keep safe, huh? Keep safe.
Yeah,
Mate.
keep safe. We are watching the situation, and we're
Yeah.
keeping everything crossed. So yeah, okay, okay.
Farewell.
Okay,
For
so
now.
Yeah,
bye.
Cheers.
thanks. Bye.
See you.
Bye.
Ciao.